What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. How are we doing? This is episode 14. I got my coffee with me right here. For those of you who aren't familiar, or just join us again, having a little coffee, a little breakfast, and talking training. So again, I appreciate y'all joining. If you guys like this, please feel free to comment, share, and subscribe. Now, I was reading a book last night. Let's just hop right in. I was reading the Special Strength Training Manual for Coaches by Verkhoshansky, Natalia, and Yuri. It's a wonderful book. It's one of many great books they've written, or especially he has written as well. I believe she has a couple other ones, but Verkhoshansky is one of my favorite authors. And so there's a line in here I wanted to read that had a lot of weight to me, and I thought it was really important to share. So it said, according to one of the most important training rules, an increase in the athlete's motor potential must precede the improvement of his capacity to utilize it in his specific sport regime. So what does that mean? It just means again, this is a foundational principle to basically how your body works, that you need to be able to physically have the potential to do something before you can actually do something. And that's a really important distinction. You have to have the physical abilities to express a skill before you can actually perform the skill. So that's huge. We often at times we think we have this disassociation or disconnection between skill and physical abilities. And at times you might try and force someone, if it's an athlete trying to jump a certain way, to do that mechanical skill, those mechanics, and perform that skill, but they just don't have the physical capacity to do it. So that's where training and raising the physical motor potential is just like your body's general physical capacity to do something. Think about like your general strength qualities, or it's the basically summation of all your strength qualities, your total potential. If you don't physically have the ability to do it, that skill, you're not going to be able to do it. Think about a single leg high jumper. It reminds me of this great study they did out in Indiana, looking at high jumpers and the horizontal velocity that they would approach at, and whether or not that horizontal velocity was optimal for them. And what would happen if the horizontal velocity of the high jumper is too high relative to their single leg reactive strength, that plant leg which they hinge off of and jump, then they would buckle and crumple and they wouldn't be able to handle it. But in theory, if that leg got stronger, their plant leg, they'd be able to handle that higher velocity of entry of speed. So they could have a stronger plant leg, they could handle a higher horizontal velocity and therefore jump higher. So there's an optimal ratio of your body's ability to actually do something. Can they actually perform the skill of running faster? And the capacity of actually expressing it through their physical potential. That is, well, if they don't have the plant leg to handle that speed that they get up to, well, no matter how hard we train the skill to do it, they can't do it. And so that's why it's so important to understand why we're training the physical capacity and what type of physical aspects we're training. For example, if we're trying to help someone become more, have an elastic strength quality or a reactive single leg strength, we need the ability for that single leg to produce lots of force during that high jump. Well, we can't just only do high jumps. You might want to have some resistance overload to help develop the physical potential of that leg to express force. Maybe there's different kinds of force. Maybe at a younger athlete, maximal strength is the limiting factor. But as they get stronger, it becomes something more like explosive strength or reactive strength, the speed at which they can produce that force. So that's the interconnection of all these different kinds of strength qualities. So I think that sentence means a ton. Again, that's just one sentence. They actually have a definition of motor potential, so I'll read it here for you guys, for those of you curious and more clarity on that. And just to share it while it's right in front of me, I'll do it because we're reading coffee and the talking science and a little train, so who cares? I can do what I want to do. From the book, it says motor potential is the total quality of mechanical work that can be produced by the human body motor system while performing certain movements. So again, that physical potential, that physical capacity to actually do it. And then the physical capacity to maybe do it, and then the skills, the expression of actually doing it. So there's potential and then there's expression. And as we get better and better at our skill, we have a smaller and smaller window, right? If we think about it like this, when we first start off learning something, our capacity is probably much harder to do it than our skill is to do it. As we get better and better, our skill rises closer to that capacity. There becomes a point in time where we might be using 95% of our capacity, that is, of our motor potential. But how do we improve that? Well, we can raise our motor potential so our skill can follow suit, because we're always limited by our physical motor potential to actually perform something, not just the skill. Doesn't matter how strong. So it does matter how strong and powerful you are, because you can't go beyond that with your skill and expression. You're always capped by your own physical ability. So I'm going to drink my coffee here. I hope that rounds it out. I appreciate you guys listening. Again, something to think about is that, as I'll read that sentence one last time before I go, according to one of the most important training rules, an increase in the athlete's motor potential must precede the improvement of his capacity to utilize it in his sport-specific regime. So again, that's page 32 of this book, a wonderful book. So you guys are curious about, check it out. As always, thank you for listening. I hope you all enjoy your coffee. I'm going to enjoy mine here, my breakfast. I got my corn view right in front of me, my corn ocean, I call it. And if you guys are new to this page, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and let me know what you want to hear about next. What have you been thinking about? Again, I like to read a lot, and so as I read, I'll probably have thoughts that come up, and I'll share those thoughts with you guys, hopefully every morning. So I think this is episode, maybe it's 14. I said 13 at the beginning. It might actually be episode 14. I don't know what episode this is, but we're going to keep it rolling because my goal is to be consistent. And I appreciate y'all. As always, take care. Have a great week. I know it's the start of the week. It's Monday. So it's just another day. It's another day to learn, another day to enjoy, and be nice to others and have a fun time training. You don't need to be so serious about it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun science, but at the end of the day, we just are trying to do our best to do better. Appreciate y'all and take care.